Hello. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's see. 15 American tourist habits that make Europeans cringe. Don't be that guy. Ooh. You don't want to be cringy. That's true. I'm going to take these to heart, you know. Geo Insider. Check him out. Link down below. Let's see.
Two Californian girls arrested for carving their initials on a Coliseum wall and taking a selfie.
God.
American tourist fined after parking Ferrari in the middle of famous Florence Plaza.
What?
American tourists caught pushing scooters down the Spanish Steps.
Can you believe it?
What?
And that's just scratching the surface. Today we are counting down the top 15 of most infuriating habits of American
I'm already infuriated. Damn, guys. Way to make us look like total idiots.
tourists that make Europeans shake their heads in disbelief. Plus, I'll share some tips on how to avoid being that tourist. Hold on to your seats. This will be one wild, shocking, and oh so entertaining ride. Ready?
all
Let's go.
right.
Let's start with habit number 1. Walking, talking loudspeakers. Picture this.
Wait, we walk too loud?
You're in a peaceful Parisian cafe, enjoying a quiet afternoon when suddenly, boom,
Oh my god, you guys, this croissant is amazing.
you know,
Hey, that's a lot better than saying this croissant sucks. This croissant is garbage.
goes across the room. Yep, that's us Americans, turning the volume up to 11 everywhere we go. It's not just excitement, it's a habit we can't shake. Locals find this as charming as a foghorn at a yoga retreat. Disruptive and, frankly, annoying. Now picture a gondola ride in Venice, gently gliding along, then
Guys, this bridge is so bridgy. It's like the bridgiest bridge ever.
my tip, tone it
To
down.
be honest, I can imagine it, but you know, I'm American, so I hear this type of thing every day. It's like, okay.
Match the local vibe and speak
I don't even have to imagine too hard.
softly. It shows respect and helps you blend in. Save the enthusiasm for moments that truly call for it. Like,
I'm actually not a loud American. Like, I know everybody, I know that there's people here in America, some of them are unbelievably loud. You know, like you think that the average American tourist is loud? Man, if you could come here to America and hear the loudest of the loud, it would probably blow your mind. There are some people with a voice that actually just seems like they were born this way. I don't know what's wrong with them, but you can actually hear them across the entire crowded restaurant. And they're speaking at what they think is a normal volume. Like, I'm talking a bunch of other loud Americans are between me and the guy on the other side of the restaurant. They're loud enough, and you can hear him clearly over all of them. You know what I'm saying?
cheering at a football match or
Amazing.
spotting a double rainbow. In Europe, less is more
Double
when it comes
rainbow
to volume.
all the way.
Habit number 2, the everyone speaks American myth. Imagine an American tourist in a charming little Italian village speaking rapid-fire English with phrases like,
Yo, can you hook us up with the dopest coffee spot around?
the locals look confused like they're trying to solve a riddle. We often assume everyone speaks English and gets our slang. It's like asking a cat to fetch. This can seem arrogant and, frankly, a bit lazy. So here's the deal. A simple
Excuse me, do you speak English?
works wonders. Usually people respond with,
I speak a little English. How can I help?
That would be a dream result.
and then proceed to speak better English than you. Learning a few basic phrases in the local language, like ciao or grazie, can open doors and hearts. It shows respect and effort, and trust me, locals appreciate it. Plus, it's kind of fun to play linguistic charades. Who knew ordering coffee could be an adventure? Now, there's an exception.
It does sound fun.
At super busy tourist spots or restaurants, skip the Google Translate performance. The staff often speaks English, and they're in a rush, wanting to work efficiently. Save the linguistic.
What? Isn't that what like American waiters do? Aren't American waiters are the one that are in a rush? That's what I hear I've heard it a million times. I mean, I guess no matter where you are, if you're working at a busy restaurant, you're in a rush, but still, it's like I've heard that so many times that American waiters are in a rush. You know, they want to get going. You know, what's your order? Okay, here's the check, leave. And in Europe, they're laid back.
Linguistic gymnastics for quieter moments. Habit number 3, tipping incorrectly. We're used to tipping big back home, 20% or more for any
Yeah, I feel like incorrectly is fine, right? If I tip you 20%, you're not going to be mad, are you?
service, even for Uber drivers. But in Europe, tipping customs are a whole different ballgame. Some countries find our generous tips extravagant, while others might think we're being stingy. So, what's the scoop?
How is an extravagant tip stingy? There's no way there's a place that tips more, like a higher percentage than America, right? That would be crazy.
Learn the local tipping customs.
America's
In many
crazy.
European countries, service is already included, and a small tip or rounding up the bill is appreciated. For instance,
Okay.
in Spain, you might leave just a euro or two, while in Germany, rounding up to the nearest euro is common. And in Scandinavian countries like Sweden, tipping is generally not practiced at all. Workers there receive fair wages, and tipping could actually weaken their salary position. No one wants
What?
to hear that they make it up in tips. Do a little
That's a very interesting perspective. Hey, don't tip me. It could weaken my salary position. Okay. Okay.
research or ask a local. It shows respect.
Hey, I would rather not tip. I'm gonna be honest. So, I'd be like, oh, don't gotta tell me twice. Give me it back.
When in doubt, remember, subtlety is key in Europe. Oh, and speaking of tipping, what's the custom in your country? Do you leave a little extra or just a high five? Share your tipping tales in the
high
comments
five.
below. Habit number 4, complaining about local differences. We love our creature comforts and familiarity, but traveling means
If you're in a different country and you're complaining about how it's different, then you're an absolute moron.
embracing the new and different. Unfortunately, some of us just can't help but gripe when things don't match our expectations or aren't like they are back home. It's like this.
Why is this hotel room so tiny? Back home, we'd have a walk-in closet and AC that could freeze a penguin.
Making negative comparisons about local customs, services, or infrastructure can come off as rude and ungrateful. So here's the lowdown. When you're abroad, expect things to be different. That's the whole point of traveling. Embrace the
Yeah.
quirks, like the charming
If you want it to be the same, you could have saved a lot of money. Just go to a hotel in your stupid town.
compact hotel rooms in Paris, the leisurely service in Italy, or the beautifully ancient and sometimes temperamental public transport in Greece. It shows respect and makes your travel experience richer. Next time you're tempted to complain, take a breath, enjoy the adventure, and maybe laugh about it later. After
Especially, combining complaining with being loud. That's a bad combination.
all, isn't that what travel stories are made of? Habit number 5, risky behavior for photos. Be honest, who doesn't love a good photo op? But sometimes we take it to dangerous extremes, standing in the middle of busy streets, dangling off ledges, or hopping
If you want to dangle off a ledge, that's your prerogative. I don't care.
fences just to get the perfect shot for Instagram.
I'm sure that you guys, the locals, watch on and delight. Like, what? He might fall?
Spoiler alert, a lot can go wrong. It's not just risky, but it can also be annoying on small viewing platforms. Innocent bystanders getting thwacked with selfie sticks. Nobody deserves that, and there's a reason for those bans on selfie sticks. Milan banned them in 2017 to crack down on antisocial behavior. They're also banned in all Disney parks. Amsterdam's Van Gogh Museum, the Sistine Chapel, Garoupe Beach in France, and the Colosseum in Rome. Even more concerning, a study published in the
Hey, I wouldn't be caught with a selfie stick anyway. Not caught dead. So I don't care.
Journal of Travel Medicine uncovered 379 selfie-related deaths over the previous 13 years. So what's the lowdown? Your safety is more important than a few extra likes. Enjoy the moment, take safe photos, and remember that no picture is worth risking your life. Plus,
What a crazy tip.
res-
I mean, honestly, I don't know, man. If you need to be told that, I don't know what to say.
respecting local rules and customs shows you're a
What's funny is I'm more likely to risk my life, not for a photo, just cause, Like, I'll be like, oh, damn, maybe I should climb on top of that boulder. For the likes on Instagram? No, just cause.
considerate traveler. Next time you're tempted to risk it all, think twice and choose a safer spot. Your followers will still love your pics, and you'll be around to take many more. All right, let's play a game. Picture this. You're strolling through the narrow streets of Venice, admiring the canals. Suddenly, an American tourist appears, struggling with a mountain of suitcases, blocking the sidewalk. You hear a thud as a wheeled suitcase gets stuck. Any guesses on the habit? Here's a hint. Do I really need 6 pairs of shoes for a weekend trip? If you guessed overpacking, you're right. We'd love to be
A weekend trip to Europe from America?
prepared, but hauling huge amounts of luggage can be a real hassle.
I need to show this to my wife.
Overpacking slows you down and makes you that person blocking the entire sidewalk or struggling to fit into an elevator. So what's the deal? Pack light and smart. Think versatile outfits, essentials only. Remember, you can always do a little laundry on the road. Plus, lighter luggage means more room for souvenirs. Next time you're tempted to bring everything but the kitchen sink, rethink and repack. Your back will thank you, and you'll move around with ease, ready to enjoy your adventure.
Sorry to interrupt, but before we dive into the next embarrassing habit, here's a quick tip from me. If you're vibing with these travel hacks, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell for more awesome advice.
And now, time for the next round.
Go check out their channel. This is a fun video, GL Inside.
Imagine this. You're in a cozy Spanish cafe, enjoying the quiet. Suddenly, you hear an American tourist loudly exclaim,
What? This tiny portion costs how much? Back home, I get a plate twice the size
Shut up!
for half the price.
Sound familiar? Any guesses on the habit? Here's a hint.
Gee, let me guess.
It's all about comparing food portions and prices to American standards. If you guessed complaining about portions or prices, you're right. We Americans are used to big servings and lower prices. But constantly comparing and complaining can come off as disrespectful to local customs and
the price is lower because you have to tip afterwards, so it probably all evens out, right? For the most part. Now the portions, I guess a lot of Americans are fat, so they are going to be disappointed. They're kind of portioned for, it's like having a portion for a pig versus a guinea pig. If the pig goes to the guinea pig restaurant, he's not going to be happy. It's true. Now, I'm not fat, so, it's whatever.
economic conditions. So what to do? Embrace the local dining experience. Smaller portions often mean higher quality, and prices reflect local economies. Enjoy the flavors and savor the moment.
This high price reflects the local economy.
Instead of comparing it to back home. Habit number 8, lumping all of Europe together. You know the type saying, I've been to Europe. After a quick tour of Paris, London, or Rome, you wouldn't say you've done America after visiting New York.
I'm gonna take issue with this point. If you come to America, if you go to New York City and go right back home, you can say, I've been to America. There's no problem with that.
Paris, London, or Rome, you wouldn't say you've done America.
Done? See, I've been to Europe. There's nothing wrong with that. If you say, I've been to America. Yeah, I went to New York City. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, cool. I don't see the point. Maybe I'm the problem. But if I go to the UK, you're damn right I'm going to be like, I've been to Europe. Finally, I've been there. You know, if I go to Germany, I've been to Europe. Don't tell me I haven't.
After a quick tour of Paris, London,
I didn't walk every single square inch or square meter.
Or Rome, you wouldn't say you've done America after visiting New York. So why do the same with Europe?
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't say I've done Europe. I've done Europe. Yeah, I went to Germany once. You could say I've done Europe.
Europe isn't a monolith. It's a patchwork of different languages, histories, and traditions. So, how to fix this? Appreciate the uniqueness of each country. Dive into the local cultures, learn a few phrases in the language, and explore beyond the tourist hotspots. Recognize that each European country has its own identity and charm. Next time you're bragging
That's one of the really awesome things about Europe, you know, so diverse.
about your European adventure, remember to give credit to the individual countries and their rich, diverse cultures.
I think you guys are so lucky about that fact. You know, you can have such an amazing travel experience within your own little continent. Just go around 10 different languages and cultures, you know, all within a train ride. It's not the way it is here in America.
It shows respect and makes your travel stories even more interesting. Habit number 9, disrespecting monuments and cultural sites. We've all seen it. Tourists behaving badly at historical landmarks, treating them like they're personal playgrounds. It's like hosting a rave in a library. Not cool, folks. Remember those 2 Californian girls who were arrested for carving their initials on a Coliseum wall? Or the American tourist who parked his Ferrari in the middle of a famous Florence plaza? These aren't just...
How did he even get a Ferrari in, like, what? Was he, what? I don't know. I don't bring my car with me when I travel to Europe. I've never done it, but I can imagine I won't be bringing my Corolla. So how did he get his Ferrari there? He's just rich as hell, huh? I mean, screw that guy.
just cringeworthy. They're downright disrespectful. So, how to handle it? Show some respect. When visiting these sites, take a moment to understand the significance of where you are. Read the plaques, listen to the guides, and absorb the history. It's about honoring the memory and importance of these places. Next time you're at a historical or cultural site, remember to treat it with the
I don't really need to be told to do this, to be honest. This is just how I am naturally, thankfully.
respect it deserves. You'll gain a deeper appreciation for the history and culture, and you'll set a good example for other
I know not all Americans can say that.
travelers. Habit number 10, dressing inappropriately. This is one of my biggest pet peeves. Americans are practical and love to dress casually. We don't wear nice clothes every day. It's all about comfort.
Nope.
But sometimes our idea of casual just doesn't cut it abroad. I get the travel vests with all those pockets are handy, but it screams tourist the moment you step off the plane.
This is another one I have to take issue with. I don't care if I scream tourist. I really don't.
Lucy, my French friend, always says,
Granted, you might be a target for like scams, right? If people know you're not from there, they might. Obviously you're going to be a target for scams and pickpockets or whatever there might be. But apart as far as like any other reason, like just being embarrassed or whatever, that's fine. That is fine. You know what I mean? You guys come here, dress however the hell you want. I'm probably not going to buy a whole new wardrobe. I mean, you know, hopefully I won't look like a total moron when I'm in Europe. I like to think so. You know, pair of jeans and a shirt. It's pretty much my go-to.
European fashion is more about how things fit rather than emphasizing brand names.
Brand name? I don't think I have a single brand name thing. So that's cool.
A friend of mine recently visited Paris for the first time.
Also, aren't there like tons of super famous fashion brands out of Europe? So I'm a little bit, I don't know. I don't mean to be like contradicting this video. It's just sometimes I hear things I'm like, okay.
She usually rocks dresses and heels, but found that in Paris, it made her stick out like a sore thumb. So what's the fix? Do a little
A dress and heels makes you stick out like a sore thumb.
research before you pack. Understand the local dress codes and pack accordingly. When visiting churches, cover those shoulders and knees. When dining in fancy restaurants, step it up a notch. Think more dinner party and less beach party. Next time you're planning your outfit, remember to dress respectfully. It shows you appreciate and respect the local culture, and you'll blend in.
Well, yeah, you should dress respectfully, not like an absolute clown if you're going somewhere that is, you know, sacred or something.
much better, making your experience all the more enjoyable. Habit number 11, small talk. I know, we love to chat, but in many parts of Europe, striking up a conversation with a stranger is like trying to start a dance party in a library, awkward and unwelcome. Take France, for example. In Paris, small talk is a regional no-no. If you start chatting with a stranger, they'll probably ignore you unless you're asking for directions. In Scandinavian countries like Denmark or Sweden, you must be crazy if you are talking to strangers. Germany, occasionally some old folks might start a conversation at a bus stop, but that's about it. In Poland, small talk is rare and unusual. Hello is about as talkative as it gets on a good day. On the flip side,
But isn't there an aspect to it where they're like, oh, it's an American, like, hello, yes. Small talker, huh? Because you're from America. I see. I mean, that doesn't mean that you have to indulge it. Just, you know. I don't know. I guess it depends how many American tourists you run into.
small talk is more common in Southern Europe, but generally Europeans are more reserved and value their personal space. So what's the takeaway? Read the room. Gauge the vibe before launching into a friendly chat. If people seem open, go for it. If not, respect their space and enjoy the silence. Your consideration will be appreciated, and you'll
I'm not much of a small talker anyway.
blend in much better.
I don't need to. You know, some Americans need to. They look like they're in physical pain if they're not speaking to you or speaking to someone that's around them. You know, they'll start like acting. They'll start talking to themselves, like saying stuff purposely that they know you can hear and that they think you want to like interject about right around you. You know, oh, sure is cold out here. Oh man, I've always wanted to see that movie. That restaurant has really great pizza. I remember going there.
with the local culture. Next time you're tempted to share your life story with a stranger, remember to keep it short and sweet. A little cultural awareness goes a long way. And hey, how is it in your country?
Luckily, once again, I think I have a lot of European in me. You know what I mean? I will absolutely not ever be the one to drag on a conversation with someone, which people absolutely do here in America, but it's just not me. You know, if I'm gonna say something to you, it'll be like one and done. Hey, I like your shoes. Bye.
Do you love a good chat or prefer to keep to yourself? Share your small talk stories in the comments below. Habit number 12, overemphasizing ancestral heritage. We obviously love to celebrate our roots, but sometimes we can take it a bit too far. Claiming to be 100% Greek or Irish because your great-great-grandparents were from there might not be as well received by the locals. Imagine visiting Ireland and proudly declaring, "I'm 100% Irish," only for the locals to smile politely while thinking, "Sure, but you sound more like you're from Boston." Or telling someone in Italy about your authentic Italian heritage while mispronouncing bruschetta. So how to handle it? Embrace your heritage, but don't overdo it. Show
I don't even know my heritage, so that's cool. Yeah, I'm American. That's what I'll say.
genuine interest in the local culture without making it all about your ancestral connections. Share your excitement, but remember, you're a guest exploring their home, not a long-lost native. Next time you're tempted to overemphasize your roots, keep it cool and respectful. Appreciate the culture around you, and locals will appreciate your genuine curiosity and humility. Habit number 13, impatience. We love our fast service and immediate responses, but in Europe, things tend to move at a more relaxed pace.
See, this is what I typically hear, and I respect that, you know?
Especially in restaurants and
See?
shops. Here's a scene for you. You are sitting in a cafe in Portugal, waiting for your coffee, and you start tapping your foot impatiently. Or you're in an Italian restaurant, frustrated.
Okay, I tap my foot all the time. Not impatiently, just because I don't know, it's a habit. They're gonna think I'm an impatient, stupid foreign tourist. God dang it.
Because your meal isn't out within 10 minutes. This kind of impatience can come across as rude and disrespectful of the local pace of life. So how do we deal with it? Embrace the slower pace. Take this time to enjoy your surroundings, have a conversation, and savor the moment. Remember,
Yeah, I
good
really
things take
can't
time.
imagine being like impatient while in Portugal or some other foreign like country that I've never been to. I would just be fascinated. Looking around, you know, looking at the chairs like, oh wow, they built these, you know, wow. It's like a little bit of a different height here, you know.
And part of the charm of Europe is its relaxed way of life. Next time you find yourself getting frustrated with slower service, take a deep breath and remind yourself that you're on vacation. Enjoy the leisurely pace, and you'll find yourself having a much richer experience. Habit number 14,
Okay.
talking about money. We're pretty open about discussing personal finances, salaries, and the cost of things. But in many parts of Europe, this can be seen as vulgar and inappropriate.
I think that's inappropriate, so for the most part, unless it's like with good friends or in good, I don't know. It's okay to talk about, I guess, but in general, especially if you're bragging about yourself, that's highly inappropriate, in my opinion.
Imagine this. You're having a conversation with someone you've just met in Italy and casually mention how much you make or how expensive your new gadget was.
No.
The room goes silent and you get some awkward glances. Talking openly about money, especially if you earn a lot, can make Europeans uncomfortable and come across as bragging or insensitive. In Austria,
Yeah, it is.
discussing salaries is fairly taboo. There's this unspoken rule of not telling others to avoid making them uncomfortable if you earn more. Similarly, in the Czech Republic, salaries are considered a private issue and shouldn't be discussed. It may seem odd since, back home, we often think sharing salary info helps everyone except the employer. But here it's different. So,
Well, it's fine as long as you're not bragging. You know, if you make $10 an hour, then yeah, go ahead, tell everybody, because that's obviously not bragging. If you're rich, which is a bit, you know, that's presumably a reason why you would be going around saying your salary. You're like, oh, I make this much money. Then you're an arrogant jackass.
what should you do instead? Keep money matters private. Instead of discussing your finances, focus on the experience, the culture, and the people you're with. Ask about local customs, share stories, and enjoy the moment without bringing up your bank account. Quick break before number 1. If you're digging these travel hacks, hit like, subscribe,
I'm
and ring
digging
that
'em.
bell. Stay tuned for the best tip yet.
Number 1, I thought we were just on number 14.
Habit number 15, political discussions and blame. Americans. Who doesn't love a good political debate? But diving into politics
Me, I don't.
abroad can be a minefield. Engaging in political discussions where locals might criticize or blame you for your country's policies can quickly turn
I
uncomfortable.
wouldn't dare do that right now today in today's age, okay?
So, and what's the best approach? Steer clear of political discussions.
I mean, I would probably be like, man, that Donald Trump, he's a real jackass, huh? Would that be okay? I feel like that's a fine.
If the topic comes up, listen politely, but avoid getting drawn into debates. Focus on common interests and lighter topics that build connections rather than divisions. Next time you're tempted to engage in a political discussion, remember that some conversations are best left for back home. Keep things friendly and respectful, and you'll have a much more enjoyable experience. So there you have it, 15 habits that can make American tourists stand out in all the wrong ways when traveling in Europe. I think the main takeaway is that when you go on holiday to another country, you are a guest in someone else's home. Behave like it. It's sad that adults actually have to be told this.
Why did that video end like in the middle of a word?
It's sad that adults actually have to be told this.
That is sad. That is sad. You speak English because that is the only language you know. I speak English because that is the only language you know. Correct. The worst habit is that Americans regard the locals as foreigners. That would be embarrassing. And complain about their poor English. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, jeez. That reminds me, I need to react to some more of those videos about America's Caught in the Wild. You know, those accounts of the comments. Anyway, you probably don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to do that tomorrow, I think. I'll see you guys then. Tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Bye.